Article 19 Right to Freedom. Protection of certain rights regarding freedom of speech, etc. Clause 1. All citizens shall have the right, subclass A, to freedom of speech and expression, subclass B, to assemble peaceably and without arms, subclass 3, to form association or unions, subclass D, to move freely throughout the territory of India, subclass E, to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India, subclass G, to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or business. S- Class 2. Nothing in subclass A of class 1 shall affect the operation of any existing law or prevent the state from making any law insofar as such law imposes reasonable restrictions on the exercise of the right conferred by the said subclass in the interference of the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, decency, or morality are in relations to contempt of courts, defamation, or incitement to an offense. Clause 3. Nothing in subclass B of the said clause shall affect the operation of any existing law insofar as it imposes or prevent the state from making any law imposing in the interest of the sovereignty and integrity of India, public order, reasonable restrictions on the exercise of the right conferred by the said subclass. Clause 4. Nothing in subclass 3 of the said clause shall affect the operation of any existing law insofar as it imposes or prevent the state from making any law imposing in the interest of the sovereignty and integrity of India or public order or morality, reasonableness on the exercise of the right conferred by the said subclass. Clause 5. Nothing in subclass D and E of the said clause shall affect the operation of any existing law insofar as it imposes or prevent the state from making any law imposing reasonable restrictions on the exercise of any of the rights conferred by the said subclasses either in the interest of the general public or for the protection of the interest of any scheduled tribe. Clause 6. Nothing in subclause G of the said clause shall affect the operation of any existing law insofar as it imposes or prevent the state from making any law imposing in the interest of the general public reasonable restrictions on the exercise of the right conferred by the said subclass, and in particular nothing in the said subclause shall affect the operation of any existing law insofar as it relates to or prevent the state from making any law relating to 1. The professional or technical qualifications necessary for practicing any profession or carrying or any occupation, trade or business, or 2. The carrying on any by the state or by corporation owned or controlled by the state of any trade, business, industry or service, whether to the exclusion, complete or partial of citizen or otherwise. Right to shelter. Right to shelter is a fundamental right guaranteed under Article 19(1) subclass C, read with Article 21 of the Constitution of India. Right to associate with the people. Everyone has a right to wander or associate with like minded people and cannot be compelled to live in restrictions. Freedom to work. Freedom to practice any profession is guaranteed under the Section 19(1)(g) of the Constitution of India, and by calling an advocate to abstain from all judicial works and court proceedings is illegal and unconstitutional and violation of fundamental rights of advocate. Right to property ceased to be a fundamental right. Right to acquire, hold, and dispose of any property continue to be a legal and constitutional right that no person can be deprived of his property save and except by and in accordance with the law, and further explain that the word law under the Article 300A of the Constitution of India would mean a validity enacted law, meaning thereby a just, fair, and reasonable law. It is to be noted that right to property has ceased to be a fundamental right under the Constitution of India. Freedom to assemble peacefully and conduct meeting. It is the fundamental right of a person to conduct a meeting. Failure to grant permission to conduct the public meeting is illegal and arbitrary. R- Rights with restrictions. Restrictions over the right of speech, right to assemble for the purpose of carrying peaceful protest procession, and right of free movement are subject to reasonable restrictions in the interference in the interest of sovereignty and integrity of India as well as public order. Right to live as transgender. A person has a right to live as a transgender. National Legal Service Authority versus Union of India. Whether Articles 19 of 1 and 21 are mutually exclusive? No, Article 19 and Article 21 are not mutually exclusive. The expression personal liberty in Article 21 covers a variety of rights which go to constitute the personal liberty of a man, and some of them have been raised to the status of distinct fundamental rights and given additional protection under Article 19. Article 20. Protection in respect of conviction for offences. No person shall be convicted of any offence except for violation of a law in force at the time of the commission of commission of the act charged as an offence, nor be subjected to a penalty greater than that which might have been inflicted under the law in force at the time of the commission of the offence. Clause 2. No person shall be prosecuted and punished for the same offence more than once. Clause 3. No person accused of any offence shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. Self incrimination. Meaning of the term self incrimination is that conveying information based upon the personal knowledge. It does not include the mere mechanical process of producing documents in court which do not contain any statement of the accused based on his personal knowledge. Self incrimination. Compelled testimony must be read as evidence procured not merely by physical threats or violence but by psychic torture, atmospheric pressure, environmental coercion, tiring interrogative prolixity, overbearing and intimidatory methods, and the like, not legal penalty for violation. So the legal perils following upon refusal to answer or answer truthfully cannot be regarded as a compulsion within the meaning of the Article 20 of 3. The prospect of prosecution may lead to legal tension in the exercise of constitutional right, but then the stance of silence is running a calculated risk. On the other hand, if there is any mode of pressure, subtle or crude, mental or physical, direct or indirect, but sufficiently substantial, applied by the policeman for obtaining the information from an accused strongly suggestive of guilt, it becomes compelled testimony violative of Article 20 of 3. A person whose name is mentioned in the FIR as an accused can claim protection under Article 20 of 3. A compelled production of incriminating document by a person against whom a FIR has been made is testimonial compulsion within the meaning of Article 20 of 3 of the Constitution of India. Right against self incrimination, its scope is not limited to oral testimony given by an accused in a criminal case pending against him, but also evidence of whatever character compelled out of a person who is or is likely to become incriminated thereby as a accused. Compel an accused during investigation. No infringement of Article 20 of 3 in compelling an accused person to give his specimen handwriting or signature or impression of his thumb, finger, palm, or force to the investigating officer or under the order of a court for the purposes of comparison. However, it was held that the provision of Section 27 of the Indian Evidence Act does not offend Article 20 of 3 unless compulsion is used in obtaining the information. Application. The person must have stood in the character of an accused person at the time of he made the statements to avail of the protection of Article 20 of 3.